that means it's an automatic 5% penalty on the amount owing, plus 1% for every month that you are late in mailing the tax return. So
hello and welcome back to the TF Team podcast series, From Dollars to Dreams. I'm your new co-host, David. I'm glad to be here, joining TF Team's Pierre Tomachek. Thank you for having me here today. Today we're here to talk about tax refund or tax strategy, what Canadians get wrong every year. And as we know, tax season is upon us, and I know a lot of people are hoping for a big refund. But doesn't that just mean if you get a big refund that you've been overpaying your taxes all year long?
You're absolutely right. And I think that's why we're having this webinar on February 19th to look at some strategies. Again, it's all about strategies. Yes, we've dubbed it tips, tax tips, but really strategies for families and individuals to start off the year on the right foot.
Absolutely. It's very important to do that. And it seems like everyone thinks about tax season right at the end of the year. I know that I do typically, and this is the time I get excited. I'm like, ooh, refund's coming. I'm so happy about that. But I know everyone gets excited every year for that. But why is that exactly?
You know what? It's funny. When people think of the refund, they think of something that the government kind of owes to them, right? We're lending the government our money, right? And April, May, or June, that's when we get it back. What we should be trying to strive towards is pay as little tax as possible and have as little refund as possible. We should be aiming for a zero refund. What that means that throughout the year, I have more money in my pocket as opposed to having very little money in my pocket throughout the year. And then in May, June, when I finish filing my taxes on April 30th and the government sends me a refund of all the overpayment that I've paid throughout the year. So we're going to look at ways to minimize the refund, which sounds counterintuitive, but it means you have more money in your pocket throughout the year.
Okay, excellent. Well, I think our audience is definitely looking forward to hearing some of these tips. So there is a webinar coming up on the 19th?
Yeah, February 19th, so stay tuned. I believe as my producer is looking on the right-hand side, I believe it's at 6:30, even though she told me not to mention the time, but I believe it will be 6:30. So look out for it. It will be registered on Eventbrite, and we'll talk about that over the various podcasts that we're going to be delivering in the weeks to come.
Excellent. Well, I know I'm looking forward to seeing that myself. So I guess here's sort of a question. Is getting a big refund actually a bad thing?
No, not really, but you probably need a plan. What are you going to do with it? Right? What are you gonna do with the refund? So having a refund of any size is not a bad thing. So what are you gonna do with that refund? So you probably want to plan for that particular refund and maybe start your tax saving strategies sooner rather than later, instead of waiting till next year, next February 2027. Why not start May 2026 or June 2026 when you get the refund? Couple of strategies, again, plenty of strategies, but pay down debt or just use the refund to reinvest in RSP or TFSA. Start the compounding effect sooner rather than later. So these are kind of things. I mean, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. We just want you to be aware that this is coming. And these are hopefully the benefits that you could get from our hour or so webinar on February 19th.
Okay, that's excellent. And why do you think Canadians focus so much on refunds instead of planning?
It's easy.
The low-hanging fruit?
Low-hanging fruit, right? So, strategy means, oh my goodness, I've got to abide by, I've got to think about this, I've got to really put my mind to, what are my goals, what's important to me, what's important to our family, and how do we get from point A to point B? That's a lot of work. So all this to say, yes, it is a lot of work, but we at the TF team, we're here to take away that work, to minimize, to take away that burden, to assist you, to develop the strategies and guide you so that come tax time, everything's already in place. You don't have to worry about that. You can enjoy Family Day you can enjoy the major snowstorm that we had and not have to worry, oh my God, am I on top of my budget? Things of that nature.
Right. So basically, tax time shouldn't be a surprise. I got a refund. It should be more of like, okay, well, actually, I'm getting zero back because I paid just the right amount.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's excellent. And what are some of the biggest mistakes you see with your clients in regards to taxes?
I guess failing to plan.
Right.
So that's kind of maybe a pet peeve if you want to look at that, is just waiting till February to kind of figure this out. The other one is not filing the taxes, right? And you know what? We'll get to it when we get to it. Well, right off the bat, if you don't owe any money, that's okay. But if you owe money, that means it's an automatic 5% penalty on the amount owing, plus 1% for every month that you are late in mailing the tax return. So we want you to get ahead of the curve, not have to worry, not freak out that, oh my God, tomorrow's April 30th, I haven't started anything. We're going to guide you to make sure that you're on top of it. So those are kind of the main two that people kind of the common mistakes that they'll make.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for a personal point of view, I always find it sort of frustrating that when the government owes me money, I get no interest. But when I owe them, it's a whole different story.
That is correct. And right now, the outstanding interest is 7%.
Wow. Nobody wants to be paying that.
No.
Nobody wants to be paying that.
Exactly.
Okay, so what you're saying is most Canadians, it's not necessarily an income problem, but it's more of a planning issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So with proper planning, with the help of, say, perhaps, the TFT team, we can sort of mitigate and plan for the future. Well, that's excellent. Again,
exactly. So stay tuned, and I guess wait for February 19th, and we'll have our webinar live and virtual. So, and we'll be taking some questions. So if you do have questions, do come prepared, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, that's excellent. And just out of curiosity, can you give us any examples of maybe some people who got tax planning right and some people who got tax planning wrong?
Yeah. Well, our producer, what else? She wears so many hats, so I don't know what to call her. Director, script writer, marketer. She's got her tax planning right on track, whereby she didn't wait in terms of getting a tax refund. She managed to save. She managed to get her and her husband over $700 in tax savings last year early, just by doing a couple of strategies that we've talked about, especially with an emergency fund. So just kind of reallocating her funds, not taking a lot of risk, right? Very safe and secured. That, along with having the right cash back or the right type of credit card, she was able to generate about $700 in tax savings. And what did you do with that? She went on vacation with that money. I believe it was either Florida or Colombia. Well, one of those two places. It was warm. I remember because I was stuck here in Canada where she was traveling the world as a result of that. So those are the type of things in terms of when we talk about between dollars and dreams, this is what we try to help our clients make come true.
Absolutely. Well, living in the Great White North is fantastic, but maybe with the proper planning, we can all retire to somewhere a little bit warmer.
Exactly. Right? And I know you want to retire in Mexico. So I know for me, Antigua is probably the place that I would like to go. Maybe not 12 months out of the year, but maybe 3 or 4 months, and then come back here.
Just get down there for the snow shoveling season.
Just before the snowstorm, definitely.
So, of course, taxes are always important. It's always important to pay your taxes on time. Mm-hmm. There's another tip for everyone. But why is this especially important going into 2026?
Yeah, I mean, we have a scarcity of resources. We're seeing that T word, tariffs, which will have a bigger impact on our cost of living, inflation. So we want to be prepared for those negative headwinds that will probably come our way. Now, if they don't, that's gravy. We've been prepared for the worst, right? But if it doesn't happen, then we could use those extra savings towards other stuff. But if it does, we are definitely well prepared for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's just another good segue, just to bring back again, of course, that webinar coming up on February the 19th. So if you are interested, please do join. There will be links that you can click and access to get to that. So we would love to see you join on that. Please do come see us for that. And do you have any other further tax tips or anything else we should cover at this time?
I guess the only thing, it's not even a tax tip, and I think we did a podcast not too long ago, you and I, your first podcast, so thank you very much, where basically, I think you talked about, kind of the main tip: don't spend more than what you make.
Right.
Right? Pay yourself first. So by doing that, you'll have, money, hopefully, that you could use towards the various goals, various tax tips that we'll talk about.
Absolutely. So be responsible with your money, budget, pay yourself first, make sure you have that emergency savings just in case perhaps you factored your taxes wrong and you need to pay. So, but again, these are some great tips. We are certainly looking forward to hearing some more February the 19th at that webinar. So that's fantastic. And, I just kind of wanted to ask our viewers as well. Do you typically get a refund at the end of the year? We'd love to hear back from you in the comments section. Please feel free to write up, and we'd love to hear from you.
Well, thanks to everyone for coming, and hope to see you on February 19th. Bye for now.